Lord. Alright guys, today we're watching Shed 17, suggested by Old Iron TNT. Let me go ahead and pull up the messages because, here, this is Old Iron AJ, he's the one that suggested me to do this. Apparently this is a horror Thomas the Tank Engine thing. So yeah, let's just watch it. I really don't think this is gonna be that bad. He told me not to watch it, but why is it so loud? Oh my god! Hey, this is a little bit loud. I'm just gonna skip the intro. Sodor Island. All right, so this doesn't look that bad. It's just a windmill, okay? Thomas! Oh my god, the aura. Okay, why is it? Hold on a second. Lord. Oh my god, it's so loud. I'll leave it right there. What happened? Hey, Thomas! Yay, Thomas! So, did some people from the streets come to Thomas the Tank Engine, or... Okay, so did people from the streets come to Thomas the Tank Engine, what? So it's... What is going on? What is this? I just want to say that Old Iron AJ said that this would be gruesome. This does not look gruesome. It's just a train. It's just a rusty train. My piano fell over. Oh my god. You know what? Oh my god.
They were the stories that have charmed an entire generation. From the books to the television series.
Wait a second. What is that? Hold on.
The stories that have charmed an entire generation.
Okay.
From the books to the television series.
Okay.
People around the world have grown up with the railway stories. And all their cheerful characters.
Yeah.
But the truth behind Thomas and his friends was no children's fantasy.
Excuse me?
The truth would be horrifying.
What do you mean? It's just train. Brother, what is going on? We're only 2 minutes in, bro. Come on. Yo!
It is 1945,
okay.
And the remote island of Sodor, off the northwest coast of England, has emerged from the fog of World War II, relatively unscathed and untouched.
The island served as a detention camp for Germans living in England.
Oh no. Why is Christian Taylor talking? If you know, you know. You know. Most of you guys don't even know who I'm talking about, so we'll just leave it at that. Why is bro talking right now? Why does he look like that?
That's how Professor came to be here.
Professor Wilhelm Goethe was born in 1903 in Munich, Germany. A doctor in biology, he became a prominent advisor to the ruling party in the 30s.
Right. Why is Adolf Hitler yelling?
As war escalated, he, his wife Olga, and 4-year-old son Hans fled the country.
What?
Tja, ich habe nie einen solchen Befehl bekommen. Ihr habt einmal gefragt, nicht wahr? Am 14. Mai 1942 war der Großadmiral Räder und ich...
Hold on. I hope none of this music is copyrighted. If it is, I'm cooked.
Bei ihm.
That's what he wanted people to believe. The fact is, his experiments were hard to stomach even for his own people.
In truth, he had become a prominent figure in the government. But as his work progressed, questions and objections had been raised in the higher echelons of the Reich.
His work with genetics and DNA was truly pioneering.
The cracking and manipulating of the human genome.
What are they
What
yapping
Professor
about?
Goetze was most successful in, however, was keeping his history a secret until his death. In an attempt to gain favor among the German hierarchy, Wilhelm Goetze was at the forefront of the government's
Bro, I did not come here to watch some social studies movie. I came here to see horror. I came here to see Thomas the Tank Engine. What is this?
fanatical policies. In
Oh my
1938,
God.
he was influential in
Holy
instigating the
yap,
infamous
yap,
Sagamore
yap,
Act,
yappity, yap,
the
yap,
Night of
yappity, yap,
Sawdust.
yap, yappity,
But
yap, yap,
as his
yappity.
experiments advanced, he became a much less popular figure and soon feared for his and his family's lives.
As soon as they escaped to England, he was banged up here. All locals were nice to him. There was no hostility, and many of them chose to live here after the war.
Following their release, Professor Goetze, Olga, and young Hans chose to remain. After studying under his father, Hans left at the age of 18 and went to university on the mainland, studying biology and engineering, writing several pioneering papers about genetics and the splicing of DNA with mechanical implants.
God!
He called it
There he is!
fusion, the technique of manipulating genetic material to splice with mechanical attachments.
Excuse?
However, much like his father, the British government became more and more concerned with Hans Goetze's proposals. So he was forced to seek financial backing from home.
His dad left Germany with quite a few bob, so Hans came back. He saw our little island as some sort of refuge where he could work in peace. Soon every nutcase and eccentric was coming over.
By 1962, Hans had set up Sodor Research, a small lab near the town of Alsborough, but soon the enterprise began supplying medical equipment and machinery, and quickly grew to become a large complex, comprising its own links to the growing Sodor rail system.
Please tell me this is where the horror starts.
Young Abby Collins
Please.
from the town was working there when Professor Hans took a liking to her. Soon they were married, and not long after, the town was buzzing with news of her pregnancy.
Baby Thomas was born in 1968. Throughout
Ew! If that was my child, he's going... you know what? Never mind.
the early years of his life, he would watch the growing railway
He's
network
so
with fascination.
ugly!
He couldn't get enough at trains. His dad bought him one of the first video cameras.
We know
They'd be on the
accidents don't
platforms every
happen
day.
on the highway
You can
all the
see
time.
me in some of those tapes.
Hey, Mr. Hartley.
Morning, Thomas. But he was friends with everyone.
Brother,
He was that simple
what
bloke
is
who could only
going-
say where he lived.
Ew.
Sodor. But his favourite trains were the old steam engines.
Steam engines were a dying art on the British mainland, but Hans also had a fondness for them, much like his son, and liked to keep them running for his purposes, taking orders from the labs to the growing docks, or to the mainland to be transferred to modern postal express trains.
Alright.
But as the Sodor rail system expanded,
Alright.
it found itself increasingly under the supervision of the new British rail network and appointed a new comptroller.
Oh my god!
Top hat.
Oh my god! Why is he so mean?
Born into money, he took his ridiculous name to heart and started wearing a top hat all the time. Of course, we islanders had a different name for him.
Oh?
Fat bastard. You've
Oh my god!
never met such a cold-hearted as him. He banned all steam engine volunteers and cut most at rail employees. Shut down
This is quite literally what you have to hear in middle school every day. Middle school, high school, even elementary. These are the exact words you hear.
on the branch line and the smaller stations.
Well, not really. It's worse.
He was happy to let the railway rust away, just like they did to the main line.
But the fortunes of the railway were about to take a profitable turn, a stroke of luck for the island that would result from tragedy.
Come on, we're gonna be late.
Yo,
What's the time? Thomas, get moving.
Young
Fat
Thomas
friend.
loved following railway. He'd be out all the time, hoping to catch a new train on his camera.
11:45's coming through soon. He won't wait for us.
Unfortunately, he didn't take as much notice of the
oh
safety signs.
my god, no. No, no, no,
I'm
no,
not being
no,
late
no.
again.
Fat friend, who was dying? Fat friend
We missed it yet.
or Thomas? Who's dying?
Wait for the 11:45. Never mind the 11:45. It must be late
Why is he still?
again.
Why is he just?
Tommy, come on. It's always held up.
Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! That scared me. Oh my god! Bro! Oh my! Is that his
Hans was
hand?
mortified. He disappeared from public view and into the labs. Locking himself in, he wouldn't allow anyone in there. Eventually his father Wilhelm came to see him. In a few days, a major laboratory had been locked down, followed by an engine maintenance
God, that
shed,
scared me.
which was to become off limits to all.
We're gonna have to separate
All
this in 2
production
parts
was shut
because I
down,
have to go to
orders went
Christmas
mad,
dinner today
but
at
the two
12
Professor
o'clock.
Goetzes didn't
Don't
care.
ask why.
More and more equipment was being delivered daily, but no one was allowed in Shed 17.
Shed
Questions started
17.
being asked on Sodor. Where were the Goetzes? Would there be no funeral for young Thomas? And where was the body?
They'd arranged for Thomas to be trapped.
Buddy, the body is in 57 different pieces. But really think about it though. He saw the sign. He stood in the middle of a railway and then got absolutely hawked down. Alright,
Transferred to
never
a
mind.
mainland hospital. He'd been taken to the complex but was never moved by rail. We all assumed the obvious. He was still in lab.
But if Thomas was there, was he still alive? And what was the purpose of keeping him at the complex?
I think it was Thomas that died. Or the fat friend. I think it was Thomas. I think it makes sense if it was Thomas.
Almost a year after the accident, the doors of Sodor Research were reopened.
Oh
In an
no.
open invitation to the people of the
Oh,
island, Thomas rolled out
no.
of Shed 17.
Oh my god.
Took me a moment to realise what it was I was looking at. When he looked at me and said,
Hiya, Mr. Hartley.
it dawned
No.
on me what Hans Goetz and his dad had done.
No.
One woman passed out as Thomas smiled at us. I had to run off around the side of the shed.
Hey, are you alright, Keith?
Did they actually turn a dead kid into a train? What is wrong with people in today's age? I mean,
spread across-
this happened in like 1940 or something, apparently. So like, what was wrong with people back then?
the country, the world's media rushed to Sodor Island.
Yo!
They kept trying to interview me. I became a bit of a celebrity.
Shut up!
Controversy on Sodor
Hey!
Island. Questions asked about science ethics.
It's fair to say I was pretty nervous at times,
Shown now by Keith Hartley.
but I think I put on a brave face.
Yo!
What do you think when you first came to meet Thomas the Tank Engine?
Jesus! Hey!
Most of my mates said I looked pretty good on telly.
Yeah.
The mayor said I'd represented the people of Sodor very well.
What?
It's important to show you
I know you
the
saw that.
people of Sodor
What
very
is
well.
going on with bro? Bro is tweaking.
It's important to show you're confident when people are asking
He's glitching.
your awkward.
An act of mercy or a crime against
Who
humanity.
is
I
this?
enjoy now by
Even when some of the questions got difficult, I made sure I knew what I was talking about.
What was your reaction when you first met a talking tank engine?
Oh
If you
my
can't
god.
make an informed opinion, or if you can't string together two words on telly, well, Maybe you shouldn't be on there.
Did that say good evening or good
The
morning?
subject
I don't
matter
know.
was a bit bizarre sometimes.
There are some dark forces at work here.
How many times is he gonna throw up? Like, bro.
Alright, as long as you can win over the audience.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you.
Oh my god.
The Goetze family refused to answer any questions. Behind closed doors, the only question they agreed to answer.
Wait a second. What is it? Hey, driver, where are we going? I swear my nerves are showing. Set my hopes up way too high living in the way we... Comes the morning and the headlights fade of rain of 100,000 people. I'm the one they frame. Been waiting long for one of us to say, save the darkness, never let it fade away. In the living day... You know what? I'm not reading that.
Been asked repeatedly.
I watched it like 10 minutes. So I'm
Picked
gonna
up
just
and operated by a driver and fireman. Since no one could be sure how much of the engine was Thomas, the pressure caused by the engine could rupture his organs from the inside, and the incredible heat could boil him alive. Professor Hans and his father vowed Thomas would never...
So why would they put organs inside of the train? I mean, you know what? Let me just...
work on the railway. Similarly, the two professors were to refuse many requests by people from around the world who wished to be biofused into engines.
Excuse me?
There were billionaires offering to pay whatever they wanted to be converted into an engine or some other transport.
That's the dumbest thing you can do. Imagine if you pay imagine if you pay billions of dollars to become a train and then the operation fails. Like, bro, now you either looked stupid or you're dead. Like, bro.
Train enthusiasts too, and people with
John
terminal
Cena!
illnesses were desperate to be made into trains. But for some
Mr.
reason,
Ball.
the Goetzes refused.
But there would be other interested parties, eager to seize on the biofusion gold mine.
My
The
God.
independently wealthy Topham Hatt staged a hostile takeover, and within weeks had bought a controlling share in Sodor Research. Immediately, the policy of the company changed, and so did the ethics. The medical supply wing was shut down, and work began on mass biofusion experiments and operations. Anyone who could afford it, some handing over their whole fortunes, were turned into engines. But, along with the new policy, there would be worse to come.
What?
Biofused engines would be allowed, then obliged, to work on the railways.
What?
The first one we fired up was James.
What?
He didn't have the money some of these people had, and so agreed to basically sign his life away if they wanted to experiment further, or to take massive risks like this. As usual, the fat had everything recorded.
Oh my God.
Classified, you understand?
These recordings, shown for the first time, reveal the extent of Sir Topham Hatt's
I
experiments.
feel so bad for
It was
James.
horrible watching these engines work on the railways
His eyes
some
look like Jimmy
days.
though. I'm just
But the
kidding.
tourists wanted to see it. They expected it. And for
Jimmy
me, it was work.
But, with the new engine's increasing work schedule, came more and more accidents.
Edward was first to have problems.
Edward!
He'd been filming all day for the new TV series they'd announced, and for his last scene, he had to pull into Wellsworth Station and whistle to the kids on the platform.
Yay!
Whistled Edward. Thank you very much.
Oh my God!
Sadly, this was only the first in an increasing number of incidents.
Oh my
An
God!
obsession with aircraft and appeared to become a helicopter. The operation had gone well, but we had to ban him from being allowed to attempt flight.
What?
An experiment kept secret until now. Mavis the diesel engine was to be the first biofused locomotive used on the railway.
We fueled her up and everything seemed fine. Then things got out of hand.
What?
The diesel began to burn her internal organs.
Oh my
Everything
God!
organic in
What?
the engine was soon burning.
Have you ever heard a locomotive scream in pain?
Jeez! Oh my
Rinsing out the fuel
God!
tank with water. But by then it was too late.
Mavis's body would be kept under lock and key indefinitely, In an unexpected U-turn, Sir Topham Hatt would ban fueled engines from being used on the island. Harold was never told why he couldn't fly, but the decision would keep him alive, if only for a little while longer. In fact, unknown to the outside world, there have been many failed biofusion experiments.
That fat bastard kept accidents
my
a secret.
God!
And legal disclaimers had to be signed by anyone being biofused.
At least the words are
So there'd
blurred.
be no legal action taken if anything went wrong.
This footage shows
Hey!
engines being displayed
Hey!
to tourists during the
Hey!
off-season.
Hey!
Many of these engines
Hey!
were failed biofusion experiments and were too ill to work or were already dead. They had to put a stop to that though.
Percy! Oh my God!
With all accidents happening, everyone started asking the same thing. Why had Thomas, the first engine, worked so well?
He's just built different.
Despite all the troubles the other engines had, Thomas had worked fine,
Is that a
oblivious to the
tractor?
other engines' problems and accidents. Keeping their problems a secret from the outside world, Sodor Research began selling the technology to other countries in multi-million-pound deals. These countries would have less qualms about the use of fuel engines, and even the modern electric trains. Even failed biofuel engines were being displayed publicly in what would become a kind of freak show. To his horror, Professor Hans Goetze saw what this was leading to: slavery of engines, and immediately resigned. His father,
No
Wilhelm,
reconstruction!
would go one step further.
Hey! Alright! We're almost done with the video. We're halfway there. What is that? What is that? Why does he have a gun? What is he doing? No! What is he doing? What is this idiot doing? Is he gonna shoot himself in the nose? I like your cut, G. So was he full of death? Was he full of dust? Because there's no way that this is blood. And how did it get everywhere? You would think you would only go a few, like, inches behind the head. The only thing you should see here is the bullet.
Professor Wilhelm couldn't come to terms with what was happening to his engines, and took the only course he thought he could take.
What?
That fat got a load of us rail staff over to his house to clean up after the body was taken away. You should have seen it. Sawdust everywhere.
Sawdust? But he shot himself. So was he full of sawdust?
It took us days.
But such attempts to keep the incidents on Sodor secret were short-lived, after a very public accident.
What?
Gordon paid an enormous amount to be Sodor's first 462 configuration.
Gordon?
Engine. Much bigger than any
Oh
other
my
engine
god,
at the
Giga
time.
Chad!
We were terrified that fat shite would make us fire up that huge engine.
We were shocked to discover he had insisted on being able to work on the railway. So, one night, after the regular staff had finished for the day, Fat some of the rail staff and I fired up the engine. As usual, these experiments were filmed. This footage has never been broadcast before.
Dr. Ruth and I filmed it all.
It might be a bit shaky. It was handheld. At first, Gordon complained about the heat. Then that turned to pleas to douse the fire.
But that fat bastard held us back.
What?
We wanted to see what would happen.
So Thomas isn't the bad guy, it's Sir Top Hat. Why don't they just kill him?
He argued he had put a lot of work into Gordon.
What work did he put into him? Food?
the chances to get him working.
Look at him! He
He
looks like
opportunity.
he looks like the
He was
Monopoly
literally
guy.
cooking from the inside. By the time we were allowed to act, it was
Oh
too late.
my God! Gordon! No! Gordon!
I wasn't as near to him as some of them. All I could do was run. I was lucky to get away with some singed clothes. Others weren't so lucky.
The fateful few
Gordon!
hours following the accident would seal the fate of Sodor research. The fat stopped us trying to put out the fire, insisting that any evidence would fall back on us.
Brother, what?
He kept repeating, "This was all your fault.
What?
You knew the dangers. You're legally to blame." He
Excuse?
stopped us calling for ambulances or the fire brigade.
What?
We told him, these are injured people here. They go
So he let injured people die just because Gordon cooked himself? Well, you know what? I don't understand this. But I'll just act like I do.
going to die unless we do something.
16
But he
minutes
kept
left,
saying,
guys.
no one from
16
the
minutes of
outside
this
can
torture.
come in. No one can see this.
Finally, someone suggested we airlift them to hospital. Harold
Early!
was banned from flying for his own safety, but we thought the risk was worth it.
Fueling Harold was a nervous experience. Would he have the same reaction Mavis had?
We all breathed a sigh of relief and loaded the injured people aboard. Then it all went wrong.
Oh my. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Harold's engine had worked fine, but what no one realized was most of Harold's lower extremities were permanently fused to his propeller system. As Harold's rotor blades began to spin, vital organs would be drawn into the motor and tear him apart from the inside.
Oh my God!
Well, now there was no covering it up. The smoke could be seen all morning, but news people were here in an instant. We were told to close gates and start clearing up the mess ourselves, with some help.
Henry Thierry was the only 420 gauge engine on the island. A large engine that had been working on the railway regularly, he had become popular among tourists and the locals. Henry was called into the yard to help tidy the mess. Working mostly at night, he would cart away the wreckage under cover of darkness.
We had to work quickly and quietly. Henry would cart wreckage from the yard away to the sea. Then one night the points were set wrong and we were diverted to another shed.
What?
Henry had inadvertently been sent to shed number 17, where
Excuse?
Thomas had been biofused into a tank engine and had subsequently been declared out of bounds.
It was dark and these sheds all looked the same. I unlocked the doors and Henry rolled in. I didn't see what Henry saw, because as soon as he got his head through doors, he bolted and reversed out.
Oh my.
Keith locked the shed up without seeing what was inside. But Henry had seen it all.
What did
We
Henry
wouldn't
see?
even dare talk about that shed, more than our job's worth.
But Henry had decided to speak up and confront Sir Topham Hatt.
Oh!
That night, he arrived at the railway controller's office.
I don't know what was said in there, but there were raised voices at times. They had a shouting match for 10 minutes.
Oh my
Then
God!
Henry left, back to the shed.
By pure chance, he was sent back to the same shed as Thomas that night, and with one sentence, he sealed both their fates.
What?
Henry only said one thing to him: stay away from shed 17. The next day, the fat had a new job for him.
Oh my God! So he's just the Dr. Eggman of this universe. Alright.
The Flying Kipper route ran through the night,
The Flying
delivering
Kipper.
fish from the docks to the mainland, across the highest altitude line in the country.
That old line was treacherous at best, but when Henry was put on there, in the middle of winter, it was a death trap.
What?
In 1970, fish had started being delivered by road to the mainland. It was safer and more cost-effective, and the line was declared redundant. Dangerous and unnecessary, it came as a shock to the islanders when it was reopened.
That fat shite always hated Henry.
Oh.
He didn't like his cheerful manner, and he clearly had other lifestyle choices when he was a human. Fat wanted Henry away from the other engines, and Kipper Run was a death sentence.
On the night of February the 8th, 1983, Henry had only been on the Kipper Run for a week. The following incident would be made into a book and later recreated in a television series.
This is the train the railwaymen call the Flying Kipper.
What?
Can you believe they put it in a kid's story? Of course, that fat f***er changed quite a few of their facts.
Oh.
They couldn't know the points from the main line to a siding were frozen, and the home signal should have been set at danger, but snow had forced it down.
As the train approached the most treacherous part of the line, unnoticed to Henry, his driver and fireman, the points had diverted them to the adjoining siding and right into the path of another train.
Oh my God, no. No, no, Henry! Henry! Oh my God!
Henry's driver and fireman had jumped clear before the crash.
In fact, Al and Barry died from their injuries. Slowly, in snow, the poor bastards.
Oh
By midday, the recovery operation was underway, and Sir Topham Hatt had arrived.
He survived!
Cheer up, Henry, it wasn't your fault. Ice and snow caused the accident.
These images from a train spotter's camera were taken the evening before and were successfully covered up by the Sodor Railway Board for 10 years.
There was a railway spike in points, blocking them. Of course, that had disappeared by the time we got there.
I'm sending you to Crewe, a fine place for sick engines.
What?
Crew. We all knew what that meant.
They'll give you a new shape and a larger firebox.
Crewe was, at the time, one of only 2 scrap metal yards in the UK capable of handling and recycling organic material as well as engine parts.
You'll feel a different engine and won't need special coal anymore.
With those few words,
10 minutes.
Sentenced Henry to death.
Well,
What?
that'd be nice. Yes, sir, said Henry doubtfully.
Everyone knew we won't see him again. And everything was sewn up nice and neat for that fat
Joe! Henry!
We got out about Henry's accident. It didn't take long for Thomas to realise Henry had been disposed of because of what he knew.
The next evening, Thomas had been put on his own for the night at Knapford Station. As his driver and fireman left, under what was left of his own steam, he set off for the Sodor Research Complex.
Thomas!
He had a small amount of burning fuel in his firebox, but he was mostly moving under his own strength. It took Thomas 3 hours to get to the complex, the effort to get there nearly killing him.
What?
Thomas arrived at midnight. With no one around, he made his way to the shed where he was created. What he found was the answers to his questions, and many others.
Since Sodor Research had begun producing biofuels vehicles, the world had asked, why had the first biofusion operation worked so well, but nearly every operation since had failed? Sadly, Thomas found the reasons inside.
What happened? What? What is that? Valid
Thomas
fake?
had never been the first operation. He hadn't even been second.
Oh!
What shed number 17 contained
Yo!
several attempts to create a tank engine with Thomas's DNA.
Bro!
These had been early tests made by people
Oh
with no
my God!
experience of an experiment on this scale.
Is that Henry?
Ill-planned and unprepared, these procedures had used DNA from the human Thomas and had been as much the real Thomas as the tank engine the world had come to know and love.
Oh my God!
To us, Thomas the Tank Engine had been the Thomas we all knew as a boy. Part of the family the whole island's population had known and respected since Wilhelm first arrived.
Gee.
In actuality, this tank engine was no more the real Thomas than all the failed creations made over the 12 months before.
This Thomas had all the human Thomas's memories and experiences. He had learned what Thomas had learned, known what Thomas had known, but so had all the previous failures.
Oh my god.
Wilhelm and
That's
Hans
crazy.
Goethe had to learn through trial and error how.
So they took his body, turned it into multiple trains, but only one worked. So they just killed a whole bunch of innocent people that just wanted to be like him. Bro's the main character.
To bring their Thomas back from the dead. The following experiments had not had the same work put into them, resulting in the freak engines and aircraft that had developed so many problems on Sodor Island and around the world.
Lord
In
have
Shed
mercy.
17, Thomas wouldn't discover who he was, but in fact, who he wasn't.
He wasn't a failure. Thomas! Why is he going closer? Peekaboo, I see you. Yo! What is that? It's breaking the glass. What? Thomas! Oh my god! Oh my god! What is this? Yo! Oh my god! All I want for Christmas is you. Oh my! Thomas! Oh my god! Oh my god!
He had no idea he was only one of many clones. None of us did. But I guess as time passed, we stopped asking all the questions we had at first. We were just glad our friend was back with us. He could work for us. He became our servant in a way. Someone who drew in the crowds, helped create jobs, was eager to work. Thomas always thought of us as his friends. Sadly, over time we came to think of him as just really useful.
Oh my god! No! Thomas! Oh my... Yo! In 1993, a government inquiry was launched into the events of Sodor Island. Okay. Biofusion was banned by the following year. Compulsory work for the biofused engines was finally banned after the wind-scale nuclear blast test. Okay. Oh my god! Oh my god! Sir Topham had disappeared without trace. His whereabouts were never discovered. He would now be 102 years old. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Thomas the Tank Engine remains a specialist unit where he currently undergone 23 constructive operations. This is the last one I'll read. Biofusion was later banned in Europe, although biofused engines are still required to work. Alright guys, that is Shed 17. A very horrifying Thomas the Tank Engine story that shows the actual true colors of Top Ham Hat. If you enjoyed this reaction, like and subscribe. I ain't gonna like and subscribe to this video and this guy. And if you want to see more reactions like this, please let me know. And shout out to Old Iron AJ. Let me pull up his channel real quick. Old Iron AJ. Oh my god. Shout out to Old Iron AJ for suggesting this video in my Discord. Here's his channel. He needs one more for 150. Get him there. I dare you. And if you enjoyed, as I said before, like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.